Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we're playing the other Discover combo that's been put into the format by Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So we played the Quintorius canned version of this deck about a week ago, and this time we are playing the Geological Appraiser version. And the reason we're doing this now is that there's a banned and restricted announcement coming up on Monday, and there's some speculation that this combo may be for the chop. Not because it's particularly dominant or has an obnoxious win rate, but I think there's a view that perhaps it's not the most fun play pattern, just to have a kind of single card combo on turn 3 that can win you the game, if not interacted with. But while it exists, we may as well give it a go. See if we can win some games with it. So essentially how this works is you play Geological Appraiser. When you cast it and it enters the battlefield, you discover 3. You then either create a copy of it with Glasspool Mimic and go again, or you play Eldritch Evolution, sacrifice the Geological Appraiser and go and fetch a Trumpeting Carnosaur, which has the Discover 5 ability, and then you then go and do the same thing again. You either go and get an Appraiser, you copy it, you get Eldritch Evolution, etc. And you're essentially just keeping going with that until you have until you go and fetch a Doomscar Titan, which enters the battlefield, gives creatures you control +1/+0 and haste, and then you just attack with your many copies of Trumpeting Carnosaur, and yeah, just kind of win the game that way. And so obviously this being the kind of deck where you need to make sure that when you discover you're hitting the cards you want, and we have very few cheap cards, so we are running a number of the cheat expensive cards that aren't really expensive. So we're talking Leyline Binding, obviously theoretically costs 6 mana, but can be as little as 1. Torrential Gearhulk to potentially go and get back our Eldritch Evolutions and other things. Greater Tanuki, which is another 6-drop creature that has a channel effect, same with Colossal Sky Turtle, 7 mana, but it also has 2 channel abilities. And then the two cards in the deck that enable the turn 3 combo are Creative Outburst, so a 7 mana instant, but crucially has pay 2, discard it to create a treasure token, and Magma Opus, again 8 mana instant, but has the same ability, pay 2 mana, discard it and create a treasure token. So that's essentially how the deck works. It's actually very simple. It looks like a kind of totally bizarre construction, but essentially all you're doing is just playing Geological Appraiser and winning the game. Sometimes that won't work. It will fizzle. You know, if you play Geological Appraiser, you hit a Carnosaur, and then you just hit another Eldritch Evolution, then you are kind of stuck with just the Carnosaur. But then you have to kind of rebuild and try again. So it doesn't always work. But more often than not, you will kind of accumulate enough power early in the game that you should be able to win pretty quickly thereafter. The mana base is a little bit complicated because it's technically all 5 colours because we do have some black in the sideboard. So we are running a lot of triomes to reduce the cost of our leyline bindings, fair few shock lands, but we're also running basic lands as well, because we will want some of those to kind of deal with people trying to stop our non-basic lands. There's a lot of non-basic land removal running around the format at the moment, with Cavern of Souls and other things being quite prevalent. And then we also have... why does this deck only have 13 cards in the sideboard? Okay, that's interesting. We'll come back to that issue. I'll tell you what I add to the sideboard in a minute. So we have Karuga. Given the mana requirements of this deck, we are able to run Karuga. We have Horned Lock Whale, which again, expensive creature theoretically, but has a 2 mana adventure. Chefnet Monitor, again a cycling card. Mirror Shell Crab, you know, these all do similar things. We've got Vanquish the Horde as mass removal that is quite expensive, but it theoretically can cost as little as white. And then 3 copies of Thought Distortion, and to go along though with those we also have a Swamp, because if we are bringing in Thought Distortion we will need some additional black mana. So we do have a Swamp in the sideboard. Now I'm going to go and find out what the rest of this sideboard should be, so hold on 1 second. And so there's multiple different ways of building your sideboard, but I've decided to add a couple of Cavern of Souls, which is in a few of the lists I've seen. So that essentially allows us to bring in and have a way around our opponent potentially trying to counter our Geological Appraisers and that kind of thing. So that is why we're running 2 copies of Cavern of Souls. So now that I've fixed that particular issue, you can tell this is a highly professional channel. pro players are forgetting to add 15 cards to their sideboard the whole time, not just me. So let's go on to the ladder, see how we go on with this. Thank you very much for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons, as always. I appreciate the support. Yeah, let's get in before this deck potentially gets banned. And yeah, let's go play some games. So we don't have a turn 2 ramp ability here, but we do have 2 copies of Appraiser, which means we can get through a Thoughtseize. I think probably just as well, because it looks like our opponent's playing Rakdos. It looks like we're going mono mimic at the moment, and we don't actually have the mana to cast our Geological Appraiser, so this could potentially be problematic. The good thing here, at least, I suppose, because Rakdos runs a full ton of removal, but if we have okay, Leyline Binding's not bad. We still need another red mana, though. The opponent has missed a land drop, so that's worth bearing in mind. Okay, we still don't have the mana to cast Appraiser, but we do have 2 mana Leyline Binding available now, so okay, they've got their additional mana. Okay, well, if we were to ever draw a untapped red source of mana, now would be the time. That is not it. Okay, let's stick Karuga in our hand. We do have other ways of doing it, though, so I think, we potentially could draw one of our spells that lets us go and fetch a land, a Greater Tanuki or something, so we're not out of it. But this is somewhat frustrating to have drawn so many blue lands when what we need is red mana. We're also basically out of Glasspool Mimics, so um okay, I think we'll scoop this one up. We'll go to game 2. Um what are we bringing in here? I think let's have Horned Lock Whale. Let's take out Torrential Gearhulk and maybe 1 Binding. Yeah, I don't hate that. We are kind of experimenting around with this combo, so not convinced I'm going to play it flawlessly. Yep, this is a keep. So they might try taking our magma opus here. Just try and strand us on mana. Makes some sense. Good thing about having Tanuki, of course, is that we can go and... interesting. Okay, well, fair enough. In which case I shall... I'll play the Hollowed Fountain, just because I can then discard Magma Opus, and if I draw an untapped land, I can go off. Although, may not. Okay, well, I'm not going to do it this turn, so let's discard our Magma Opus. Play a land. Pass the turn. So the problem the opponent has is that I will eventually just have enough to not have to worry. So let's channel our Greater Tanuki. Grab our Mountain. Okay, that's pretty decent. So let's play Stomping Ground. Let's put Karuga in our hand. And past the turn, we now have multiple options for starting our Discover thingamajig. So let's play a copy of Trumpeting Carnosaur. Fine. Excellent. Okay, let's play that. That's fine. We can put that in our hand. So that's 2 removal spells down. They don't know we have another Carnosaur. Okay. So let's play Carnosaur. Let's make a copy of it. Excellent. So now we just have to do the same, except on the draw. So let's pop in Mirror Shell Crab to counter some of their spells. Hornlock I like here. Castle Sky Turtle less so, I think. They've got too many ETBs for that to be particularly what I'm interested in doing. So I think that will do. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think it's a key. I don't like having two Glasspool Mimics in our hand, but yeah, the opponent clearly didn't draw a Thoughtseize there. Very good. So, none of our combo is available here, so I don't think we can keep this. This is basically the same hand. Looks like we're going to be running on empty in this game, so let's just get rid of these two. Okay, mono white humans it is. So that's not terrible news, just because they don't have a huge amount of instant speed interaction. No, this doesn't make any difference to our deck. I don't. Well, actually, it does because we can't do our explore combo. Explore combo. We can't do our discover combo while everything still is costing us one more. So that's worth bearing in mind. So we will need to bounce Thalia at some point. Can't really do that though until we know that we have the cards we need. Okay, well, I think we are just going to have to bounce on the assumption that if we don't, we'll die. Well, we're dead anyway on board. So let's bounce Thalia. See if they replay it. Yes, unsurprisingly they did. Never mind. Yeah, no, we just mulled to 5, didn't get any appraisers or anything really there, so that's disappointing. But let's pop in Vanquish the Horde. Let's take out. I think we should keep Leyline Binding actually because it's removal. So let's trim. Same with Carnosaur. Sky Turtle's not bad because of that interaction we just saw. Let's trim a couple of Magma Opuses. Okay, this is a keep. Don't bore off. Okay, let's discard Creative Outburst. Pass the turn. Kill Thalia. Now let's give this a go. If it doesn't work, we always still have Carnosaur in a couple of turns, so... Cool. So they are running some removal. Fair enough. Well, I'll just play Carnosaur turn after next. Or I'll just go again this turn. Okay, let's Eldritch Evolution away our Appraiser. So grab ourselves a Carnosaur. Okay, we'll pop that in our hand. Let's pass the turn. Oh, well, there goes our other Carnosaur. The opponent having perfect interaction at all points in this game has been a little bit depressing, but can't be helped. Okay, well, let's vanquish the Horde. Let's pop Karuga in our hand. Let's pass the turn. This is somewhat annoying, it has to be said. Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, let's play Karuga. Let's pass the turn. Yeah, 2 get losts, a Thalia, another Thalia. Okay, well, at least they've given up the attack for now. So let's play a Doomscar Titan. Now I'm happy to just pass the turn again. Sure thing, that is a card that has words on it. Yep, perfect interaction from our opponent at all points in that game there. Never mind. That's a mulligan. This is a keep. Pop back one of our leyline bindings, as we can't actually cast them at the moment. Okay, our opponent's another Rakdos deck. So we'll discard a land here. We'll discard Magma Opus. Stick Liliana under a leyline binding. Now we just hope for the best. So let's pop Karuga into our hand. Well, we may as well foretell our Doomscar Titan, I suppose. Makes it cheaper. Okay, let's play Karuga here. Eldritch Evolution. That is certainly a card. Okay, let's play Torrential Gearhulk. I realise I'm doing this at sorcery speed, but I may as well. Play our Magma Opus. Divided among any number of targets you choose. 2. Tap 2 target permanents. Sure. Yep. Okay, let's play another Sparrow's Headquarters. Sneaky benefit of that being an artifact. So let's play ourselves a Trumpeting Carnosaur. No, they didn't even wait for me to do the combo. That's pretty rude. I won't hold it against them. What do I want against our Rakdos opponent? Let's put in Mirror Shell Crab. Take out Colossal Sky Turtle. Apart from that, I think this is fairly decent. This is a mulligan, this one. 2 leyline bindings is probably enough to get me to keep this. I don't love it, but... I'm not sure I would do that. I suppose, yeah, if you're going to try and strand us on mana, I suppose that makes sense, but there's no guarantee that that works. Okay, that's binding the other one. Da, da, da. So we're discarding our Tanuki here. Yeah, Fable is a card. We're going to need to deal with that at some point, but for the moment, let's go fetch a land. Let's have an island, I think. Pop Karuga in our hand. Pass the turn. Okay, let's stick their Fable of the Mirror Breaker under another leyline binding. Now, am I just playing Carnosaur here or Karuga? Because they almost certainly have interaction. So let's play the Karuga, draw a couple of cards. Make them think maybe the coast is clear. Yep, that's fine. Reduces the pressure on our life total. Okay, I think I'm happy to get the ball rolling now that we have 2 different Discover cards. What have we got in our graveyard? Nothing there that I want to bring back. Let us grab Greater Tanuki here. Fine. Five damage to any target, so it's not Magma Opus, unfortunately. So I think we are just trying to go off with Carnosaur now, in the full anticipation that it is not going to survive. Yeah. That might be a mistake, just because if we hit into a Geological Appraiser, which we do, okay. Okay, let's evolution that away. Let's go fetch ourselves a Carnosaur. Fair enough. It was always kind of now or never with this stuff, but we do have another appraiser. So let's Eldritch Evolution that away. Grab ourselves Carnosaur number 3. I can do this all day, but not that. So let's pop that in our hand. Play another land. Perfect. Dig, dig, dig. Dig for removal. And then please don't find any. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's discard our evolution here. Ooh, that's good. So let's send Carnosaur at Liliana. Now let's play a Mirror Shell Crab. Cool. So there we are. That was Discover Combo. Yeah, it's a play pattern that exists. Not one that I think is particularly healthy for this format. I don't think it's going to last very long. I'm pleased we did give it a go though, because it's always worth trying these things, particularly when there's a lot of kind of hype around a particular strategy. Yeah, you kind of had a couple of good games there against Rakdos, struggled a bit against mono white humans. Again, I don't think it's breaking anything, but it's probably not what they intended, so I imagine it's for the chop in the not too distant future. But here's one last look at the deck list. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you had any luck with a different iteration of this deck or any thoughts on how it plays, let me know. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.